Won't be. The aim of this event is to bring together Ugandan students and young workers with French and international companies. The need to bring together French and employability in Uganda in this event is due to the fact that French has become an official language in the East African community.
France wants more Ugandan students to France. This is why we're here, and that's what is our mission here in Kampala. Of course, France is a land of opportunities in terms of professional,
Konassis on the beat. Sylvester Kabombo. Yeah. Amalala gakube chigwo. Amalala gakube chigwo. Enume ye chigwo. Yeah. Volume nyongere. Oba owamala. Yeah. Awamala. Volume nyongere muko. Oba owamala. Meda yongera mu. Volume nyongere. Oba owamala. Yeah. volume nyongeremuko oba owamala
nedda yongeramu
tula kalira ulize emboozi bulamu towalira byenkubulira passport nga kyali wange walakira ebyo byolepuka bijja kulakira kotandisa agaboozi kwaba basibekira okoze ekinene nnyo enzijja okuzibikira ojja kunakuwala kubalaba ku matikira babadde basibekira kati nga bakulembera n'akazindaalo nga batuyimbira bava ku malala temuli bibala bona gavirako ku ngalo emikwano gibalabala bulamu si butereevu busala ebigooli noyo noli ebizibu bitusimbira line ng'akasooli ozala ebika by'emmere bikulisa embooli nga weekwesa ebyo azala wange obalabira mu kamooli otya okusongamu uyo kapooli gwe twayogerako owamajati ait sente oli munyongere oba owamala volume nyongeremuko oba owamala
nedda yongeramu
volume nyongere oba owamala volume nyongeremuko oba owamala
nedda yongeramu
bwagula enzirusi atagula yazza musango lwakyo giwalabanya ngago bwengo bagamba owebbango futumutegera ku mulyango kiriza gaana katugwemukire totumenyera omwango bulire moroka tonna gikuta olinda yesu bwanaalidde okugimanyira lekaleka bano batuuke nga banyirira lwakyo bakuba ebizi oyagala batomera aga malala gasana kuluyira Sylvester ku ngoma rhymes gankwira I get the job done call me whatever you want to I hope to make you a person they look up to not to divide society into two imputu there's nowhere you are going to mutuntu bulirira ne berubaruba tu bulamu bwe mutomatu kankusibirire tu ensi gyozanyise kugayanga mmeketu weketu muganda witu wetereze mwatu volume nyongere oba owamala volume nyongeremuko oba owamala
nedda yongeramu
volume nyongere oba owamala volume nyongeremuko oba owamala
nedda yongeramu
amalala gakuba ekigwo amalala gakuba ekigwo ennume y'ekigwo
cause in effect banji bandaba naye tebantegeera banji bantegeera naye tebandaba 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 ontegeera otya mubuuka sokosembere ngontunuulira ontya twali twesisinkanyeewa naye ekyo nga tonnakiddamu mbulira onzudde otya bubadde onoonya mbulira obuuzizza otya yanaakutumya oyo akusudde ku kyokya sembera lekera okwemotya weebuzaabuza tunula mu maaso toweetya abamu bamanyi nga rapa bamu bamanyi nga b-boy sibyewakana abamu bamanyi nga eddoboozi eryogerera omuntu owa wansi yonna gyendi abamu bamanyi nga yimba kyendi abalala bandabande babuuza musomesa wuuyo abatamanyi bo bawuza fala wuuyo nakyo kinkolera kuba mbayita kuli talaba olwo abagamba nti nina amaasaana abiri gali maaso abiri gali mabega nkoto lwaki balowooza bwe batyo kuba nzinengera gyenva nekyengenda banji bandaba naye tebantegeera banji bantegeera naye tebandaba 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 abafere bantya bwe bandaba bo tebaddamu kucacyanca bakirako bingubiridde mu kyenkya anti ndi mu bufu obukodyo nina nkuyanja bategera waggulu nempita wansi ne banteega ku kkono nempita ku ddyo mbaleka basembye kya bulijjo obukodyo bwe gaba mazzi ewange yeewali ensulo ewange gyensula olumu onoonya n'ombula olumu nsula nkola olumu nsiba ntabaalira ekumpi n'ewala sinti mbewala mirimu gyenkola gyanfula nantalabika ninga mazzi gansuwa banji bandaba naye tebantegeera banji bantegeera naye tebandaba banji bandaba naye tebantegeera banji bantegeera naye tebandaba banji bandaba naye tebantegeera banji bantegeera naye tebandaba bangi bandaba naye tebantegeera bangi bantegeera naye tebandaba amagezi ganeesera abateesi baneesiga ate abagezigezi bo batandika okuneesiga kuba bakungula ebiva mu nsigo z'ensiga ate ab'omululu bo baswama bakeraga ensega mujja kunzisa enseko kuba ndaba nze musumba olumu gotayawula mu ndiga nkulengera nga tondaba era nga sinnaba kulabika nsirika nga gwolokopya tonnalabuka nsiterebuka ate era sitakibe nga sinnakikenenya ndusu nze ndi ku manduso n'olwekyo kakkana nkujje ekifu ku maaso bagamba nteekuba omunaku tekya eyange yakya n'eyabalala n'engikeesa era bwenjagala neebakootulo n'obudde n'enkeesa awakana kikyoteesa bangi bandaba naye tebantegeera bangi bantegeera naye tebandaba 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 Abrams Techa
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome all of you that have honored this time. Some of you were called and invited on short notice, but you're here. I also want to celebrate the team that is behind this marathon, ladies and gentlemen. Globally recognized, first of all.
It's interesting to know how far we've come. It wasn't as rosy as this, as you'll see in the different steps as we progress through this function. So yes, we are going for edition number 4. We've seen growth from just a dream to over 700 runners, to 2,200 runners, to 3,700 runners, and now we are gunning for 6,000 runners in Kasese. We have 4 objectives as the marathon. One is talent identification, 2 is sports tourism, 3 is promoting and enhancing a healthy living, community transformation, and climate change. And to achieve that, we've worked with numerous sponsors who have decorated this room with their pull-up banners.
A marathon is not just about the people running, it's about the people coming to support. It's about the people driving from Fort Portal that are coming up from Ribirisi, from Kunjiri, from Barara, to celebrate, to be part of the party. Unless you haven't been in Uganda over the last 3 years, I don't think you could have avoided knowing about the Rwenzori Marathon, right? Every year we are annoyingly loud. We started with 800 runners. In 2023 we grew to 2,200 runners, and last year we had 3,700 runners. We painted the country green. For those of you who were in Kasese, you might remember the really fast guy, Abel, who won the 42. Adidas picked up Abel, flew him to Portugal, where he won the Porto Marathon. And that requires. Qualifying with the time that he got in Kasese, saying he wouldn't have gone to Kasese if we hadn't paid for his transport.
We have always said that one of our drivers is to ensure that the local community benefits from the event. So 75% of those, they said they were satisfied. Tourism impact, 98% of the participants believe that the event plays an important role in promoting Kasese as a tourist destination, which will definitely help Kasese get more tourists. Social impact, 70% of participants reported increased health awareness, which is in line with one of our guiding principles. 98% of the participants achieved their personal goals that brought them to the event.
It is important we give a very good round of applause to all the organizers of this platform. Because believe it or not, this is now like the, the F1 of Uganda as a platform. So well done. So as the gentleman was presenting here, I could not stay calm because the results are evident from all different angles that you can think of. Look at it from a tourism angle, it's a spike. From an economic angle, all going up. From a social angle, all going up. From an environmental angle, we are growing, right? So guys, well done. And this is where I thank also all our partners who've continued to also work with us, just besides UBL, because it has been a collaborative effort. Now we can organize and organize and organize, but if you don't have runners, then you don't have a platform. So please, let's give a round of applause to all the runners as well, who've really made this possible, and even the runners to be. So as UBL, we are here to put through our commitment that we are willing to continue walking the journey with you. We have seen where the opportunities are. So, and I know, as the gentleman said earlier, the focus for this year will be a lot on climate change. And we have seen the numbers. I think from an awareness perspective, we presented something like 43% of the people are aware of the objective on climate change. So clearly there is a lot of opportunity where we can work along. And we'll work together to see how do we now ensure that by the next time we are sat in a room like this, we are talking of double the number, 80% maybe of the awareness level. So guys, we are willing to work with you on that journey. So I'm really looking forward to this year. I know it will be bigger, it will be grand, but as promised, we shall work with you and we will continue to work with you. So thank you very much.
When the idea was birthed, I think in the Rwenzori Mountains, I don't know where Wekesa was, and I got a call at a certain point. It was actually at night, like at 10 p.m. or a WhatsApp from Moses saying we have to be part of this, and we decided we are going to be part of it. And for us, it's important as an organization because we have what we call the stands, and I keep on reiterating this message, to accelerate zero, to make sure that the environment, in which we operate, make sure that we preserve it. And every time we go to Kasese, mandatory, every year we go there, we plant 1,000 trees.
The greater thing that we have had as Taskalite Rwenzori Marathon is actually the people of Kasese. Can we all clap for the people of Kasese? We did a launch recently in Dubai 2 weeks ago. And there were 2 runners that had just finished Dubai Marathon. And they told me, Amos, we were interviewed in front of over 50 countries, media. And when they asked them the greatest marathon they've run, those 2 brothers, they said it was Taskalite Rwenzori Marathon in Uganda. And when I asked them why, they say they never ran a marathon where the population 100% comes out to support runners. And they said they're coming back to run this year. I've never told you, some of you have not heard this. So one day, I am walking in the parking of Village Mall. I meet a guy called Alvin. We've never met before. He was the CEO of UBL at the time. Tell Alvin, I have a dream. And this dream is to start a marathon that's going to be as good as Kili Marathon. And the reality is that Kili Marathon is what grew Moshi and Arusha. And I told him, I would like to do this. He said, Amos, we are behind you. And they're still behind us.
When Wekesa came to me and said, I'm organizing Taskalite Rwenzori Marathon, the first thing I underlined was Rwenzori. And that means it's mine. Because I'm culturally and emotionally attached to the word Rwenzori. And the Kasese people are very hardworking and we are business oriented. For us in Kasese, it is money. Even politics is not a big deal for us. So we really love this Taskalite Rwenzori Marathon and we are going to support it 100%. But also as a country, this marathon is putting us at another level. Because now if athletes can qualify to compete in international marathons using this marathon, it is putting us at another what? At another level. But we would like to assure the whole world that security is guaranteed.
It's a CEO bench, so usually people want to assume that all CEOs are overlearned and stuff like that. So I will change the script this time round. I consider myself a certified hustler.
If I'm looking to know who you are you Ugandan? If yes, what are the values that define you as Ugandan?
That's the easiest question I think to answer. I am a typical Lao man from Erute North, in a place called Ogur, and where I will be laid to rest is in a village called Agweng. So if you go there and you just say Otoa Tony, they won't really know me because my father is also Otoa Tony. You have to ask for Junior, and when you're asking, you have to ask with an accent. Junior Tikwene, where is Junior? And they will identify me. But I'm typically Ugandan, only Ugandan, from Lira. I pride myself from being from Lira. Earlier on, I was joking and saying I'm the coolest Lago south of Karuma. When you cross Karuma, there are so many. But when you're down the south after Karuma, I think I'm number one.
Wow. Well, now that you know Tonyo Toa is Ugandan, and of course, what are the values that define you as a Ugandan?
I think it's the love for country, love for nation. You know, truth be told, the country is in it's a crisis. Leadership crisis, economic crisis, social crisis. There's so many mismatching areas. But at the end of the day, it's home. You know, you cannot run and abandon your home because of the issues in your home. I think that then creates an opportunity for you to do something to change what's happening and what you see as a crisis. So in terms of what I see as a value, or what I take out of that for me, I think is just the love for country, the need to serve country the best way I can. And I mean, I can't say I can change everything, but the little I can do to create a difference, I think is more meaningful.
Wow. Mr. Tonyo Toa, growing up, what did you want to be in life? And what was the journey like for Mr. Toa?
Yeah, you know, my father is crazy. My father would call us and he would show me the compass. The idea was supposed to be a pilot. You know, the planes would fly over our house and my father would be like, yeah, you're going to be a pilot. But of course, as you grow, you realize that you have so many things that really define you. I was never a sportsman. So I enjoyed a lot of debate and, you know, a lot of indoor activities. And that is, I think, what really drove me into some of the things that I do up to today. Public speaking, the love for debates and really a lot of intellectual discourse and all this stuff. But besides that, I think it's also the fact that I won't lie. I did not know what I wanted to be.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Rebecca Lloyd-Tute, and this evening I am delighted to host Mr. Ronald Miti, the Chief Technical Officer of ATC Uganda, and he's going to tell us about a media training that he has recently completed and how that has shaped the way he will be looking at communications in times of crisis and in normal times. Over to you, Mr. Miti.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's been a very great morning that we have enjoyed today morning with Eddie. I never thought of media relations the way I've actually been able to pick it up from today. My learnings, my takeaways today is the importance of building relationships with the media teams within the market, because what we've found is that if you have that team on your side as an organization, there is a lot that you can achieve with less effort. Very important also, I've learned that this whole concept of the culture that you want to build within the organization, has to do with the fundamentals of the organization in terms of what you want the organization to look like, the day-to-day running of the organization. We found out that, and this was best delivered by Dr. Wale, that understanding the organization and where they want to go, where the organization wants to go, is very fundamental in driving the culture of the organization. If you don't define it well, then anything can lead you anywhere because it's not well articulated. And there were a couple of examples that were delivered to us that were used to illustrate this concept. And I think it is something that ATC as an organization, we need to be more aware of. It's something that we need to be more definitive of, especially that we are an American company operating in Africa with a completely different culture altogether, and how we are able to merge the two or get the best of what is expected of us as an entity from our corporate office and the environment in which we run within the industry or within Africa.
Thank you, Miti. I have a couple of follow-on questions. The first one is, in terms of culture, you have talked about the importance of making sure that the culture is aligned to where the company wants to go. And you have also mentioned that we are in a unique situation where we are running an American company in an African country. How would you advise executives in this same situation as yours to go about creating a culture that's effective for their organization but is cognizant of the environment in which they operate?
I think this concept was best delivered by Dr. Wali when he talked of it's better we are very clear on the expectations from the corporate office, and then we spell out the uniqueness of the culture in Uganda. Then between the two of them, we should be able to map out where we have common areas and there is no difference at all, and then which areas need a little bit of tweaking so that we are not so far off from the corporate expectation, but we are actually in resonance with the environment in which we run. So I think that is one of the biggest issues. And I think the second bit is to do with whatever we write on paper in terms of vision, values, and everything is good, but it's all not enough if we are not able to actually put it into practice. So we can have everything written out on paper, but I think we need to convert that into actual behaviors within us as an executive team that gets cascaded down to the rest of the organization. And I think within those two, we should be able to drive the right culture within ATC.
Okay, so one last question, and it's about the statement that you made concerning the importance of relationships with the media. I would like to know what you think about the line, where do you draw the line between influence peddling and normal media relations?
Yeah, I think this is a tricky one, especially, knowing that we are an American company and we are we have very strict lines in terms of do's and don'ts with in relation to corruption or influence peddling. But I think what we have to do in this case is to ensure that whatever exchanges that we have between us as an entity and any third party, in this case the media team that we would be engaging with, doesn't come with any asks. And a very simple example is to say, if we were holding, say, a function and we serve a cup of tea, bites or lunch, that won't be seen easily as you are influence peddling. You're just enabling an environment, you're just facilitating in that particular case. We need to ensure that there is no direct request if you say the lunch is here, but on condition you are going to do X, Y, and Z in exchange for that. I think that's where the line is. If it comes through directly to say this is transport so that you do X, Y, and Z for us as ATC, I think that can be a tricky one. But maybe if you offer to pick them up and deliver them to the venue, that may not come through us as a corruption tendency. That's what I would say.
Okay, thank you very much, and we look forward to hosting Mr. Miti in our next program.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. It was nice having a chat with you.
I feel good. Da 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 da. Ding ding ding. I feel good.
The tournament was good. The course was in good condition. I played with the good players. Round 1, round 2 and 3 were the same players. The ones who are always better than me. They hit longer than me, but I get to the hole faster than them. So I just said, Gloria, capitalize on that and don't look at their game. Round 1, I played 5 birdies. Man, in one round, 5 birdies. I was just a single putting, chipping in. So basically, round 1, and I played one of my best grosses on this course. I've been really working hard to make sure I'm ranked the last 5 years. But when the Flavias were around, I would be in the top 10, like 10 there, 9, 7. When they turned to professionals, then I graduated to the top 5. My index is now 2.0. Next after this, the target is to participate in more ranked tournaments so that I reduce my ranking to at least below 1,000. Because now I believe I'll start in like 3,000 there. And greetings to all the ladies. Please come and join me in the game of golf.
Yes, my name is Moses Bekabye. I work with the Ministry of Finance as a technical advisor for economic affairs. I also sit on the board of the Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority, and I represent the Permanent Secretary and Secretary to Treasury on the board. I was also the person who started the organization as interim CEO for the organization. My role was to set up the organization, and here we are. Well, I started as an economist, then in the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development. Then there was a merger of the two ministries of Finance and Planning in 1992. I was one of the key persons undertaking economic analysis in the Ministry of Finance. Then after that, I went to start the Private Sector Foundation, which you know very well, I think. From that, I came back to the Ministry of Finance briefly as a consultant, basically working on some key frameworks, including private sector competitiveness strategies, and also involving myself supporting now the late Tumusiime Mutebile, who was the governor. That time he was the Secretary of Treasury and Permanent Secretary, so I worked very closely with him. And also Mr. Keith Mwakanizi, who was also Secretary of Treasury and Permanent Secretary. I also supported all that. When we started working, we also worked with the late Chesimira. I don't know whether you knew him. We also worked with Mayanja and Kanji and the rest. Saida Bomba, Honorable Chiwanuka, Honorable Dr. Suruma, and many others. So it's been a long journey, and Honorable Sendaula. So it's been a long journey working through economic policy analysis with all these people. First, we started with the Economic Recovery Program in the late 80s. And then we moved on to the higher level reforms, economic reforms, liberalizing the economy, strengthening institutions, and so on and so forth. Then from there, I worked with Parliament. I set up the Parliamentary Budget Office. That was between the year 2000 and 2002. Then from there, I joined the World Bank in Washington, D.C. So I worked there for about 6 years at the World Bank. Then I came back the Ministry of Finance as a technical advisor. And one of my key roles, which was given to me by Dr. Suruma, was to reform the pension sector, the retirement benefit sector, which role I thought I handled very well. And we started the reforms in around 2008. We had the law establishing UBRA in 2011, and then we started the journey to establish the institution. So the Ministry of Finance, because I was the technical person really handling all these reforms, they asked me to come and set up this institution, which is the Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority. So I was requested to start as interim Chief Executive Officer, which I did from the year 2012 to early 2015. It's been a great journey. When we started from scratch. There was no institutional setup, there were no laws, there was nothing. So we started with the legal framework, putting in place the legal framework that establishes the supervisor or the regulator for the retirement benefits sector. Before then, there was no effective regulation of the sector. And because of that, there were Ponzi schemes, there were frauds and all those kind of things. There was no trust in the sector. So our primary objective was to build a system that would instill confidence in the general public, good governance aspects. And of course the objective was to make sure that we put in place a framework that would deal with old age poverty. That's the primary objective, dealing with old age poverty. And our objective was to put in place all the legal frameworks, we put in place operational frameworks, and set up the institution in order to regulate the sector so that there can be confidence, trust and confidence in the public, so that people can actually start saving in the retirement benefit schemes, or you can call them pension schemes. There were some schemes which existed, and the law actually recognized them. And when we started regulating and licensing those sectors. Some of them were fearful, but we went ahead to sensitize them, to look for them, and to tell them the objectives for which we were set up. And the objective was really to make sure that the sector grows, and so that we can have adequate savings. When you have adequate savings, then you can deal with the replacement income when you're not able to work, so that when you're old, you have a fallback position. Of course, when you do that and there's good governance, there are benefits to that. You're creating value for those who are saving, the workers who are working hard to save for their retirement age. But also you are mobilizing resources for the economy. For instance, the national savings, they have been so low. We are trying to grow them. They're still not as adequate as we would want them to be. But once you do that, then you're also mobilizing resources, long-term finance for the economy. And once you grow the economy, of course, you're creating jobs, you're growing incomes, you have more people actually enrolling in the retirement benefit sector or pension schemes. So that's the journey, and that's the objective, and that's why we are here. The most important thing really is to keep moving ahead with improving the sector. And improving this sector means that you must be with integrity, you must build the confidence in the sector, and most importantly is to grow and broaden the coverage. These are not easy things because there are other competing priorities when you're saving. So the objective here, and what I want us to really focus on going forward, is to increase our awareness campaigns and education. Because when you tell people to save, especially when they're young, they don't understand it. So we have to constantly educate them. We have to broaden these campaigns, go beyond Kampala, go in the region, go to the training institutions, so that when these people start working, they know they have to save, and they have to save for their old age. So what is really, really critical is to broaden coverage. And broadening coverage means we have to create awareness, we have to educate the public. And I commend my colleagues, first and foremost my board members who have been dedicated. Our board members come from near and far, but they have been dedicated to the objective of Ubra, And the objective of UBRA is to improve governance of the sector. That has been very critical. But also I commend management. I was head of the management here. We worked so hard to make sure that we set up this institution, and it's an institution of great excellence. Going forward, what we are looking at is really to ensure that there is good coverage, people are aware, and they trust the institutions that we've put in place, that we supervise. That's the pension schemes or the retirement benefit schemes. Once they do that, then they can be able to live a happier life when they are old. That's the primary objective. The second objective, as I mentioned, is really to mobilize long-term savings. And many countries around the world, they have used pension funds to actually grow their sector. And once you grow the sector, then you're also growing indirectly or directly the retirement benefit schemes. So what I see going forward for the next 10 years is an organization that is efficient, that is creating value for the benefits. Efficiency meaning that the cost when you contribute money, the cost of administration is much low. When I contribute, I must be guaranteed that 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when I retire, my money will be there. And ensuring that the monies that I contribute are invested in assets that will make my money grow. Not just putting in 1 shilling, and 20 years you're paid 1 shilling. When I put in 1 shilling, I should be paid 100 shillings at the end of 30 years. And that's the objective, and that's efficiency. Of course, there is a very difficult objective, is to ensure that whatever we are paid as pension, for instance, as our retirement benefits are adequate. That's a very long-term objective, and it's not as easy because it has so many elements in it. It has so many dynamics in it. It has to do with the public sector performance. It has to do with the performance of the economy. And once we achieve those, then we should be able to move forward. Yes, my name is Moses Bekabe. I'm a technical advisor in the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. I'm also a board member of UBRA. I would want to wish everyone, first of all, beginning with my board colleagues, to thank them for the work they've done and wish them well for the 10-year journey we've moved. I also want to thank and commend the Minister of Finance and also the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Finance, who have been very, very supportive of the work we do here. I want also to thank the members of Parliament for the laws that they have done, but also most importantly, the members who are supposed to be saving the retirement benefit schemes, the artisans, the border members, the workers in the institutions, government and private sector who contribute to these schemes. The journey has been great, and thank you very much, and we wish you all the best in the 10-year coming.
I know it's entirely not my strength, not the skill, right? But God, the Spirit of God. I prayed, I fasted, I did all things. Now I'm here, I'm a winner. I thank God. I still believe I enjoyed round one so much because going into the tournament, I just went and I did the notes late with my coach, Kato Davis, big up to him. I did the notes with him very late, that very evening before the day of the tournament. And I had to go through them before sleeping and early in the morning. And of course, I had to use them on the course. So I enjoyed round one. He kept on telling me, go and enjoy. I started as a caddy at Entebbe Golf Club, right? Where UPDF leaders saw me playing and they took me to join UPDF. And after joining, I had to serve actively for about 3 years, Then after the 3 years, they brought me back at UGC and paid for me membership there. So grateful about that, UPDF. I'm now here, I've won, but I think it is a beginning of something, again, great. Because I was a caddy, right? I really think, because when you look at the golfing fraternity of Uganda, the person who organized this the tournament, Pro Dewa Kope, every golfer in Uganda admires him, right? All the pros, every golfer admires Deo. And me too, me inclusive. And
I understand his journey. I heard him say he started as a caddy somewhere, you know. I think here at Entebbe Golf Club, so good to win on a course where he also started and his event. I think I would say that the caddies, remember, we still play with them. I play so much with them. I have so many friends, caddies in Entebbe here and in UGC. I really love them, and I know very many, I can't mention names, but there are so many good players in the caddies in Uganda. UGC here and all other courses, Namulonge, Lugazi, yes. My mind, remember, I was 2 shots down by day 2, chasing a player who was better experienced than me, Joseph Kasozi, and in my heart, I was like, yes, if it is Kasozi beating me, it is okay. It would be okay, right? Because of the experience that he has. He has played on the national team for uncounted years. Yes, he has that experience. If a person of that caliber wins against you, if you come second to him, it's not really a big deal. But after my first 9 holes of the final round today, when I had caught up with him and he was chasing me strokes, I really felt like I can now beat him, right? I really felt like I can now really win it after the first 9 holes. And I thank God I'm here. I've won it. Thank you.
My name is Emmanuel Mwaka. I work as the Chief Executive Officer of ICA Lion Life Assurance. I also wear the hat as the Executive Director for ICA Lion Asset Management. Initially, in the formative stages of UBRA, Emmanuel was in the background doing something in the financial services space, providing a few insights. So I have seen the baby, the toddler, and this is a toddler like none other that has grown significantly. I'm an FCCA, that means I'm a chartered accountant with the ACCA in the UK. I'm also an accountant registered with the ICPAU in Uganda. On top of all that, I also hold a master's degree from Heriot-Watt University in the UK, having studied my bachelor's in development economics at Makerere University in Kampala. How I wished UBRA was birthed earlier than it was birthed, because going back a bit in the late 80s, the financial sector reforms that significantly impeded the growth of the pensions sector and the overall financial market maybe would have been handled better with a regulatory authority like UBRA, specifically looking out for the interests of pensioners and those that are in the process of preparing for retirement. The 10 years that I have interacted with UBRA in various capacities have been 10 years of steady growth. Growth as an individual, growth as the organization that I lead, and growth generally for the industry. With the coming in of UBRA, we could now see, and we are now confident, that there is supervision and there is additional professionalism in the running of pension schemes, straight up from the NSSF to the other smaller players that are in the private pension scheme space. I would say that it almost goes without saying that if you're to look at the last 10 years and compare the performance of pension schemes in comparison to the previous 10 years before then, you would realize that actually on average there could be more than double growth generally over the 2 10-year periods. And the reason for that definitely is the missing piece in the puzzle that UBRA was to bring in professionalism by encouraging certification, making sure that all the players meet certain basic minimum benchmarks that of course have brought in the things that you see today where people retire and they don't have to line up in any pension scheme places. All they have to do is submit their required documentation, and within 2-3 days a week, they already have their funds. This was totally unheard of in the past. And I would say that it's in no way singularly a role that has been played by the players in the market, but it's also testament to the fact that the benchmarks that the regulator has set for us as players in this market have allowed us to step up, to go a notch higher and provide the service that we must provide for our customers. And the customers in this case are retirees or those that will be moving and changing employment. I think as well, looking generally at the business environment, you rarely now see complaints of people stating that the funds that they thought they had in their names have disappeared or have been paid to the wrong person. And all this is just because of the supervisory role that UBRA has brought in, which has been pivotal in making us run a world-class pension sector in Uganda. So as Emmanuel, I think I see the next 10 years as redefining for UBRA, and I speak in my capacity as a customer of UBRA, from the small fund that I have to my name with the nation's main fund, NSSF. I speak as well as a private customer with the fund that I have from my employer, ICA Lion, but I also speak in my capacity as an administrator and to an extent as a fund manager. I think the next 10 years are going to be very pivotal for UBRA because we are almost inching towards the 20 trillion asset mark in the pensions sector. That's very significant when you compare that and you consider the size of the GDP of this country. But you also realize that where we are going, I think there is opportunity for us to venture into the triple Ps, that's the public-private partnerships, and the pension sector provides the required assets to actually finance government initiatives, which we will all enjoy. You know, the better road network, talk about hospitals, healthcare, name it. UBRA has a very key role to actually guide the discussion in that direction. And I think the more UBRA takes its role in making sure that the discourse around patient capital is driven and they're part of that discussion, I think we will go to the next level. I would also say that looking generally at the growth in the economy, naturally with the inflationary movements, I think UBRA's role also in ensuring and working with fund managers, with trustees, with custodians and training them to ensure that the growth in most funds has by far exceeded the inflationary environment. I would expect that we will actually see UBRA achieving its mandate of ensuring that at the end of the period, you have members who have wealth that has been grown and built over time, and they can be able to afford a very decent retirement. Because at the end of the day, I think UBRA's mandate will be tested by the amount or the number of retirees who are living in poverty or who are excelling. And I think then that if we can come up with that yardstick and we just measure the level of poverty in retirement for mostly those that have been in formal employment and those that are now being attracted through the smaller schemes to join formal saving arrangements, even when they are in the informal sector, I think that would be the best yardstick to say, UBRA, I think this is the target that we need to drive at. As ICA Lion Life, I think we are working and we've shared ideas with UBRA and specifically to get rid of retirement and old age poverty. We've worked with UBRA to launch one of the only annuity schemes for retirees, incidentally with the first licensed pension scheme, that is Makerere University Retirement Benefit Scheme, where we launched an annuity plan for members who are retiring to actually purchase lifetime income. Now, retirement is synonymous with wondering what to do, but at the very least, with the guidance and with joining hands with UBRA, we now have an annuity solution then that allows retirees to never work any other day in their life, but still have an income and credited to their bank accounts every month. Now tell me if that would not get rid of old age poverty, and tell me if that will not also get rid of retirees gambling on projects that they've never done in their work life, or wondering what to do with money they've never touched in one go, but just simply because they've built it up over 30 years and now they have it and they don't know what to do. And of course, as you very well know, I think the wealthier an economy gets, the wealth is distributed to people. Unfortunately, the sharper the fraudsters get. So retirees now are the biggest culprits of get-rich-quick schemes, which actually get them poorer and have them leave retirement in absolute poverty. So if you were to ask me, what should Ubra's next 10 years focus on? I would say that Ubra's next 10 years should be to now build this 20 trillion asset base that has been generated, should actually be able to ensure a comfortable life in retirement for all members who are in the retirement schemes. But Ubra should also then allow and come up with mechanisms to support the players to be able to onboard all the smallholders, all the informal sector to come in and secure their retirement by participating and joining the licensed pension schemes in the market. Many, many, many congratulations, Ubra. I think as ICA Lion Group, we are very proud of the feat that you've attained. We are very happy that we've been part of this story, and we know we will continue to be part of this growth story that you have that you've attained as Ubra. I must say, of course, that as well as ICA Lion, we actually also actively participate in the growth of Ubra in the work that it does through the schemes that we run. But from the board and management of ICA Lion Group, many congratulations, Ubra. You have 10 more years to shine, and another 10 after that, and another 10 after that. And we believe that you are only going to get better, and you're only going to serve us, your customers, your service providers, even better. I think to the customer out there who might not even think they are a customer because you ride a boda, you are in the garden, you don't even have anything to your name, Ubra will find you wherever you are and will look after you, because it's their mandate to look after you in retirement. And they can only look after you in retirement if you avail yourself now, when you have the earning power, when you have the muscle to, till that land, when you have the ability to ride that boda. This is the time when Ubra needs you the most, so that Ubra then will assure you of looking after you when you cannot ride that boda anymore when you're in your retirement. But for you to do that, simply reach out to Ubra. They do a lot of drives, and I'm sure they'll be able to get to you. As service providers, I think we'd want to say congratulations again, Ubra. We feel the heat sometimes because you want us to do better and more, but we are ready for the task. And I think it's only for the better of the industry, for the protection of the members' funds, and we are ready and willing to even go beyond the call of duty that you set for us. This is a journey. This is one of those marriages that we know will be long-term. We are joined at the hip because we have the same clientele. So this is my commitment to you, that we will walk this journey together. We will do that which you require of us, and we will as well point you in the directions that we think we need to go as we build the industry together. I think my message to the government as well is Ubra, like any other baby who is 10 years old, actually like any other 10-year-old adult, requires a lot of nurturing, requires a lot of support. But above all, I think government is the biggest spender in any economy. I think the expenditure of government is critical to the growth of Ubra. I think it's high time that the pension schemes, the defined fund that is run through public service, is given sight through Ubra as well, so that Ubra can, in a way, revitalize the public service pension scheme in such a way that it would make sense to the members, to the civil servants, even when they retire, so that they can get a bit more as their take home every month in retirement and for longer. I think to the government, I think we are tired of seeing people changing their ages. Just work a little more. I think if they had the guarantee that Ubra would provide, that in retirement, this is what you will be getting, and as a regulator, we will see to it that you receive this, then I think we will also have a bit more room for the younger generation to join the working ranks and possibly add better value to the running processes of the government as a whole. But above all, I think it will allow us to get rid of old age poverty. And I think for me, for the rest of the regulators and for those that then work with Ubra, I would almost speak on their behalf and say that, we are very proud of the child that was born 10 years ago and is now an adult and has achieved all these milestones, has enabled professionalism to get into a sector that was bereft of confidence, has built confidence across board in a sector which is very pivotal. And I'd almost say that we know that we can only get better with Ubra, and we know for a fact that Ubra, with the resources that it has, with the people that it carries with it, will lead us to the promised land. And the promised land, of course, is for us to see that we get rid of old age poverty. So that would be my message, and again, many congratulations, Ubra. My name is Emmanuel Mwaka. I work with ICA Lion Life Assurance as the Chief Executive Officer. I also work with the asset management company in ICA as the Executive Director. I wear a few other hats within the insurance industry. I am currently the Treasurer of the Ugandan Insurers Association. I also chair the Life and Pensions Committee of the Ugandan Insurers Association. Emmanuel has been in the financial services sector for over 13 years. Emmanuel has seen and been a part of the process of the birth of Ubra to an extent, and has been there from the time Ubra was effectively birthed, and has seen Ubra, or has worked with Ubra in various capacities to see the Ubra that we are celebrating today. And on that note, I'd want to wish Ubra a very merry celebration. Many congratulations. I would almost say that I think the president of Uganda must have talked about the middle income status that we've gotten in, thanks to the efforts of Ubra as well in garnering the funds that we have, close to 20 trillion. I'd want to wish Ugandans well. Ubra is an entity to trust. Ubra is an entity that is looking out for you in whichever capacity that you're in, whether you're like me who puts on a suit, or you're out there in the garden or riding your boda, there is an entity called Ubra that looks out for you. And all they want to do for you is to make sure that when you hang up your boots, when I hang up this jacket in retirement, Ubra wants me to live a fulfilled life, a life bereft of poverty, a life of joy and happiness. And Ubra works with people and different entities to deliver that. So I'd want to congratulate Ubra again, and I know we will carry along all the retirees with us, those that are there right now and those that are in the process of getting into retirement. Again, let's trust Ubra. They're trustworthy. They've seen us grow, and they'll see us get to a higher level.
My name is Jakuhaire Justin. I am a farmer. I stay in Katamara village. This village is Katamara, and Katamara is found in Chigumba 1 parish under Chigumba sub-county. And Chigumba sub-county is in Kirandongo district, which is in Kibanda South constituency. So Kirandongo district is in Uganda. The first time I interacted with the briquettes was when Mandulis, a member from Mandulis, came to train us about it. So we were like looking at something like bread. How can you convince me that this thing is good and it can cook when I was born using firewood? Then you come up with briquettes. Everybody was wondering. Now, out of training, we got to know that we even realized that briquettes can really work. How? I came in this village in 2007. The forest was up to there. As I talk now, you can't see any natural tree. These trees you're seeing around, I just planted them after realizing that the forest was already cut off all. Now, why did I embrace this? I embraced this because from my introduction, I told you I'm a farmer. I'll not stop farming. Briquettes are got from crop residues like maize cobs, which I have even already here, beans husks, rice husks, peanuts husks, all that. All in all from crop residues. Meaning it is sustainable to use briquettes compared to firewood and charcoal. When you calculate right now, this is 2023 minus 2007. How many years are those? Over 20 acres of trees have already been cut off. Now, what will happen in the future after 50 years if we continue cutting trees? Right now, we are facing a problem of climate change. It is because of environmental degradation. So to me, we as the community members, we have embraced the use of briquettes because we have realized that it is sustainable to use briquettes compared to firewood. Why? I just pick 3 pieces. I place in the energy saving stove. These 3 pieces are enough to prepare for me breakfast. And this one is less than a kilo. Lunch, I'll also pick 3. I use supper like that. All in a day, I can use 2 kilograms of briquettes. That is worth 2,000 shillings. But firewood, I told you, by the time I came, firewood was sold in bundles. But they kept on reducing the bundles up to the point of selling in pieces. Right now, 2 pieces of small pieces of firewood cost 3,000 shillings, of which those 2 pieces can't work for the whole day. Why can't I buy briquettes, 2 kilograms? I use 1,400 in a day than using the firewood. And when you look at a bag of charcoal this side, because there are no trees, charcoal is got from trees. A bag of charcoal is more than 60,000. And a bag of charcoal can't run for a full month. So if you calculated 1,400 times 30, it is cost effective to use briquettes compared to firewood and the charcoal. So to me, if briquettes are readily available, the committee is ready to buy because it was tested in groups. Even as I talk now, group members are saying, where are the briquettes? Please bring for us briquettes. We want to stock enough. Rains are coming. Our children will sleep hungry. So to me, by the time we first interacted, we thought it would not work out. But when we did it practically on the stove, truly, I want to tell you the truth, briquettes are better than using charcoal and firewood. In fact, as I tell you, the beginning of something is always hard. But as we kept on moving and sensitizing, you reach a station, because I've been dealing with groups. You reach a group with a member from Mandulis and a member from FAO. We do the sensitization and we do it practically. And people have tried it out. Even all group members have come to realize it is really working. And on business ground, it is also fine. They give it to you at a subsidized price. Thank you very much. My name is Justin. I have been using briquettes and I'm still using briquettes and I will continue using briquettes Parker last.
My name is Eddie Okila. My life is about documenting other people's lives. A few weeks and months ago, I walked into a village as a consultant of Mandulis Energy. And on our journey, we met this lady whose dreams stream back, way back to 1972 when she was young. Today, she has a school. Many of you people out there wanted to be part of her story. But how do you be part of a story you don't know? Perhaps we get to know Nyamungu Ellen together. Take with me and journey with me to the journey and to the road trips and to the bumpy roads of life that springs from 1972 to the 60-plus-year-old woman who now has a school, a girl whose dream was realized at 55. Ladies and gentlemen, all across the world, dreams don't die, dreams do live. And this is Nyamungo Ellen. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
We are happy to see you, Director.
Thank you very much.
How is your life in this village?
My life is good.
The last time we were here, you were very happy. Are you still happy?
I'm still happy.
What makes you happy every day?
You are coming here makes me so happy.
Okay.
Because that thing has not happened in my life. People coming here every day, coming to see my school. Even the district people doesn't come as you used to come.
Why do you think they don't come like that? Like they used to come?
Mostly these district people doesn't mind of private schools. They recognize primary schools better than the private schools.
Okay. Today, Ellen,
yes,
we will call you Auntie Ellen, Jaja Ellen, because you are. We want to go back to knowing you. Who is Ellen Nyamungo?
I'm Helen Nyamungo, who came from West Nile, particularly in, it is now Zungu district. The sub-county is Alangi sub-county, and then the parish is Pasai parish.
And we know Ellen. Take me through to Ellen, who was a child. What was growing up like?
I was not growing in a good life, but I came up in hard life. My dream was I want at least to start a school. That was my dream when I was still young.
Okay. I want you to tell us a little bit more about when you were still young and when you had a dream and what happened to your dream when you were young.
When I was young, I was very active in everything in the school. I can sing, I can dance, I can do everything. And teachers liked me so much. And they thought that I will bring something in the future. That is what the teachers were telling me. And my dream was when I will grow up, I should have a school and I should also drive. But I think for driving it is now too late. But my dream for school is still there.
Why do you say your dream for driving is dead when the dream for school is still alive?
I'm now very old.
But you have just done the school. It means it is possible.
I don't know. If God wishes, maybe it can be possible.
So you are in school and teachers like you so much, or they liked you so much.
Yes.
And when you were young, let's talk about the school life. You ended up somewhere from Zombo to Lira, from Lira to Oyam, from Oyam now in Moya district. One would wonder, what is Nyamungo Ellen looking for?
When I finished P7, I put my first choice in Town College. Then I got second grade. By then they were just grading the total, not the aggregate. I got 155 when I was in second grade. And then I went to Town College. They admitted me. I stayed there for 1 year. The second year, there was a war of this Tanzania.
Which one of the war of Tanzania? You're talking about the 1972 Idi Amin war?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
When they were chasing Idi Amin.
Yes. How old were you?
I was even big, but I cannot remember the year.
Okay. Continue.
Then from there, things were worse. There was a man who was a pilot, took me at their home, up to Yam. I stayed there, but the lifestyle was not good. The man was ever beating me, and then from there, I went back to my parents. I stayed there with my parents. The man did not follow me.
This man you are talking about, you refer to, was your husband?
He was my
Had
husband.
he married you?
He married me.
Okay. So you
10
are
heads
traditionally married,
I'm married.
and legally married to this day?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not legally married, but I was married by that man.
Yes.
Up to now.
Okay.
I
And
was
he
only
was a
married.
pilot?
He was a pilot.
How did you meet your husband?
I met him in Lira Town when I was in Lira College. I went back to my parents in Western Isle because the man was beating me so seriously. Then from there I stayed for almost 10 years with my parents. The man did not follow me, but I heard that the man was dead. I went there to see the burial place, and I got that he was dead. He was dead. He was truly. I have one daughter with him, yes. The girl is married in Kobokobai, certain Kakwama. Then from there, I came back here. I started business of pineapple. I pick it from Ruiru. I came and sell here in Noya. And the business was so good, I get a lot of money. There are seasons when they are not there. There are seasons when they are there.
Yes.
So I decided to come in this village to look for a garden for hiring.
So you can grow your own pineapple now?
Yes, I can grow. I came here, I started digging. I started with rice. I dug 2 acres. I got a very good sack. I got 20 sacks. By then they were buying at 100 a sack. I sold the rice. So I saw very many children here in this village who don't go to school. I said, I asked the parents, I was asking other parents, when I open a school here, can the children come to my school? Then the other parents were saying, yes, we can come. Then I went to the sub-county. I went there asking for the permission. They gave me the permission. They said the most important thing, you have to go to the DO's office. When the sub-county agreed, I came and made these local houses using grass. I rented the place.
Here in this village?
Here in Godmu.
Yes.
The house I rent is still there. That Mabati house. I was working with those Mabatis as my office. Then I made a structure using grass thatched house. The children came. 5 of them only. I was teaching them myself. Then when they go home, they say something reasonable. Then people started saying, this woman maybe she's doing a very good thing. Then the children started coming. The children came up to 70. The school was K1, K2, K3. And from there, the children started learning. They can count 1 up to 20. They can do each and everything. You greet them, how are you? They say, I'm fine. What is your name? They tell their name. How old are you? They tell their age. In what class are you? They tell their class. Then their people started.
But wait, Nyamungu. Jaja, you were in senior 2 in 1972. The war came, you dropped out.
Yes, I dropped out.
You didn't finish.
I didn't.
Where did you learn all these things? Because in a senior 2 in this country, it does not look like a person who can do something reasonable.
But our senior 2 was really powerful. Even our primary. These days, primary doesn't speak English. You go to this government primary, you cannot say anything. But during our year, things were so good.
Tell me about it.
We were taught in English throughout, from P1 up to P7. But these days, I don't know what the teachers are teaching. And yet the primary teachers are degree holders. Some are degree holders. Me, who is not a degree holder, I can teach a child better than a degree holder. I'm even proud. I cannot fear to say that one.
Wow. Well, this story is a big story. We are talking to Ellen Nyamungu. You've all seen Ellen Nyamungu. We talked about her. The story of resilience, the story of how hard work pays. the story of how you can turn around your life when it has given you the lemonade and give it the sugar or the honey. Let's go back to Nyamungu.
When I was planning to open a school, some other villagers were saying, I'm looking for a man. If not, I want to steal their children. If not, I want to steal their money. But God knows what I've come for. I said, each and everything of mine is known by God. Nobody else can know what I have come to do here. Mudding that grass-thatched house, I was doing it by myself. I just looked for somebody.
You built it by yourself?
I built it by myself. I just look for I just look for somebody who can put me the trees and put the
by trees you mean the poles?
The poles, yes. I mean.
Okay.
Somebody who can put me the poles, and then he put the elephant grass. And then I started mudding it myself.
Where did you learn all these things from?
I learned from my village. All these 5 classrooms was done by me. I just look for somebody to put me the structure, and then mudding, I do it myself.
So let's go back to 1972. You were telling us how you built. I asked you, said this education was very good then. Today, it is not the case. And you talked about your husband being a pilot. Was he also affected by the war? Do you think he was beating you because life was difficult? Or what happened to him? Why do you think he changed?
That was his lifestyle. When I went to him, I got that he has left 3 women. So I was the 4th. If those ones can go, what of me? I also left.
So, we are now talking about the school which is leaving. 10 years down the road, the school is here. Senior 2 dropout has built a school. Tell us about your dream, more about your dream and what happened and how you feel today.
My dream, as I told you, was just I will have a school in future. That was my dream. I will bring the teachers who are educated, who are teachers from colleges.
Why very much education? Why did you want to build a school so much?
I want education so much.
Why?
For you here, you're educated. That is why you came here. You think somebody who is not educated can come here among you?
Tell us, we don't know.
Even last time I told Stefania, she asked me, Madam, why are you so much involved in education? I said, education has brought you from America up to here. If she were not to be educated, she would have not come here.
That is very true. So.
And I want my children to be educated, my grandchildren.
When we talk about this, Ellen, we want to just go to that moment where you say you love education so much because education gives people enlightenment, and when people are enlightened, they are able to move. Your dream almost died in 1972. 10 years ago, you woke your dream up and you're living today. What reminded you so much about your dream when you are 50 years old to start it?
I was talking that at least I should do something before I die.
And selling of pineapple, what happened?
I was looking for money to open a school when I was selling pineapple. And I did it.
Did you ever grow pineapple when you came here?
I haven't.
You said you planted
rice. Where I got the money.
Would you say that the rice that you planted was better than the pineapple that started?
The rice was not better than pineapple, but this land here is different from that land of Luel. When you plant pineapple, it cannot come here as well as the one of Luel. And for the pineapple, you should get the suckers. Then you plant the suckers.
Let us go to the story of the school many years down the road. Parents doubting you, parents telling you, and people saying, no, she has come here to look for her husband. She has come here to steal from us or to grab our land. Today, do they still look at you the same way?
Some are still looking at me in the same way. And some really appreciate with me.
Where do you see your life Nyamungo from today? We wrote some questions down here. Who is Nyamungo Ellen? Why did you come to this area?
I came to this area as a farmer. That is why I said I dug, I got 20 sacks of rice.
And you sold?
And I sold.
Okay.
And it brought me where to open a school.
Okay.
I think this is number 3.
So number 3, what were you doing before you started this school?
I was selling pineapple.
You were selling pineapple?
Mm.
Do you think you've answered that question?
Yes.
Anything more you want to say?
No, about that?
Yes. Okay. Let us go to question number 4. What really inspired you to start all this? I know we've talked about it.
Inspired.
The word inspired means something that gave you the hope to start. Something that was driving you, that keeps driving you to do this thing.
That thing which was driving me, I got very many children in this village who just at home, they also abandoned. The parents doesn't know where to take them. That is why that thing brought me to open a school.
Okay. Your school is very near the government school. And it is a private school started by senior 2 dropout from school, which will always be your dent, because technically they will expect you to go through the school and you go to teachers college, teachers training college, then you come, then they say Nyamungo qualifies to start the school. But right now, they will always say she dropped out, but she started the school, she's successful. If you had failed, they will say Nyamungo has failed. But because you are successful, they don't know where to place you. I want you to tell us, what does that make you feel like?
When they will tell me that I did not go to college,
yes,
I should leave school,
yes,
or do what? But the school is still there. If they say I did not go to college, I always get the teachers from the college. For me, I'm just a director.
Yes.
I'm somebody who has brought something and bring those who are educated to work in it. As if somebody who opens a drug shop and that person brings a doctor or a nurse for the work.
Where do you get all this knowledge and wisdom from, Ellen?
Mostly from my parents. Then the school added more knowledge on me.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your parents as we now come to the close of this interview?
My father was a road overseer. I don't know whether you know.
Road overseer, road inspector, yes.
My father
Back then they used to call them the road overseer.
Yes.
Now they are called the road inspectors.
Yes. My father was a road overseer.
Mm-hmm.
He also fought in the Second World War.
Your father fought in the Second World War?
Yes.
Did your father also fight in the Second World War, if you are watching this interview? If he did he raise a girl like Nyamungo, who is changing the world today? We've heard of the stories of those who fought in the World War, but we don't know how. Are you aware of what happened? Did your father ever tell you what happened?
He did not tell me, but he told me that they went and fought for Second World War. But what happened there, he did not tell me.
What about your mother?
My mother was just a poor lady. She even doesn't go to school. She told me that their father was telling me that ladies should not go to school. But most of the brothers were educated.
What does that make you feel like today? That your mother didn't go to school because the tradition then stated that ladies or women or girls should stay home and get married.
I even went and asked my grandfather. Said there was no money. But my mother doesn't know anything. But we are the one teaching her English. She can say too late, spare part. When you come late, she said there's spare part of food there, you go and eat.
And so you will have the spare part of food.
Then I go and get the spare part
of food that you eat.
And I eat.
Is your mother still living?
No, my mother is dead and my father is also dead.
Yes. We want to know from you. Years have come and have passed. How old are you and what is your experience? What kind of experience has life taught you that you can share with us now that you run this school?
I'm 62 years old. I was born in 1961. The experience which taught me is education, not any other thing. My parents taught me, then education added more experience than my father's experience and my mother.
Life journey experience as Ellen, the things you have been through in life, how you have learned from them, and what are these experiences if you are applying them in this school today?
There are very many things I've experienced in this world. I suffered a lot when I come to open this school. Very many things happened in my life. I was renting. Even the owners of the house can't come. You get out from my house. And yet I was paying. But now at least I have my own land. I'm now free.
You bought the land?
I bought it.
How big is your land that you have a dream of building a serious school?
My land is half acre. Starting from behind here up to the main road.
Do you have plans to expand this?
Yes, I have.
Tell me about your plan to expand this.
I want to expand the school. The school should reach up to senior 4. That's my plan. These P7s who will sit here, I just take them here in my school, not to go anywhere. That is my plan.
Why would you want to keep them here? Do you have a plan? Do you see any danger? Or you want them to continue?
I want them to continue here.
Tell us a little bit more about why you want them to continue here.
So that the government know who my school is. Because without getting first grade or second grade, the government doesn't know you. After getting first graders or 2, 3, they come immediately.
Wow. Well, we are talking to Ellen Nyamungo. That's the first episode of Ellen Nyamungo, the lady who received power from Mandulis Energy up in Gotmu in Noya district. In this episode, we talk to Ellen about her experience, her life, and where she's come from. The story leading to the school. We will be continuing with Ellen on the story of how the school received the light. Ellen, the first time you met Mandulis, what happened?
The first time I met Mandulis, they called for us for the meeting. We went, they said they are going to bring light. We cannot believe. Is these people telling the truth or they are deceiving us? We shall see. We waited and waited and waited. Then Mandulis came with the poles, with everything, bringing each and everything for us. We are now happy. I want to thank Mandulis very much for what they have done. That is why my children, I teach them about Mandulis. They made a rhyme yesterday, I think you heard.
Yeah. What do you want Mandulis to do for you besides the light? Or anybody who is out there, what do you want them to do for you, for this dream of yours?
I want them to add for me more classrooms, if they can. But they should not also get tired with me that this madam is ever disturbing us.
Mm-hmm. What about those well-wishers who will see your story? What would you want to tell them?
I have made a pit latrine. Even building that pit latrine is fitting me. Up to now, I'm talking. The parents have brought their children, but without school fees. Some only brought the registration fee. But there are very many children, there are almost 140.
So, if they don't pay school fees, doesn't your dream die?
My dream can die if they don't pay.
So what are you going to do?
There's nothing I can do.
There has to be some ways for you to go beyond them not paying school fees. What are your plans on how to sustain
plans,
the school?
I will just call them. Last year, they left a credit of 800, which was not paid up to now. And they have brought the children again. Some used to pay. There are some who pays. And there are some who just brought their children, then they leave. When I add the school fees to read, because they used to pay 80, the primary, and then the nursery 70. When I add the school fees at 100 this year, most of the parents took their children.
So is there any plan you have to tell parents, to help parents, to educate them, to make sure that they see the value that this school brings to them, because there has to be a mean to the end of how you sustain your school.
I give them advice, but they cannot. If they see the thing is now hard there, because when a child goes there, a child cannot understand. Then they will start to bring the child back here. That is what they do.
And what do you tell them when they come back?
When they bring me money, I welcome.
And when they don't bring you money, what happens?
When they don't bring, they take to primary school.
But it has failed in that primary school and they are now coming back to you.
That is why there's nobody who is educated here. Because the parents are not serious. They just go up, down, up, down. They are confused that there's no money. You see, the bad thing in this place, what I see, they are used to free things. They want free things so much. As Mandule was brought there, they thought that thing will be free forever. And when you will tell them to start to pay, they will just leave it. They will not pay. You will also witness. When you bring something for paying.
People want things for free.
People want things.
Why do you think the people in this community, or most of them, want things for free, having been settled here for some time?
They say that it is because of the war.
Okay.
That is what they say. When the government is bringing something for them, the thing should be free. And we have a happy center. I think you know what a happy center is. It was brought just here in the sub-county. And I'm also a member there. They brought a school, a nursery school. They also want that nursery school to be free.
That is the epicenter and the strategy development that we see the sign leading to this road.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
They want that thing also to be free.
What would be your advice to anybody who is watching this video, whether parents here or outside? What would be your advice to them?
If there is a well-wisher, let them come and help me where I am. If they have that heart, because they have seen everything. I think they have seen everything. They have seen me. Everything is out.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. This interview has come to an end. This is Ellen Nyamungu, the lady who runs the community school she started in Gotungu in Nuoya district. The second series of this will be powered by Manduli's energy on documenting on how we can get this school helped and how we can get people to come here and help this lady build the school to help the children who live in this community. My name is Eddie Okela. My job is documenting people's lives and thinking for people. Do you have a story? We will come.
I was so excited seeing many of you enduring pain. Many of people here come to run for different purposes. Others are running because they're fighting a disease. Others are running because they're fighting weight. Others are running because they're contributing money to their families. So it is important for us to cheer everyone. The people of Kasese, I want to thank you for being extremely welcoming. You have shown the spirit of Uganda. We are Uganda. We are Uganda. Let me tell you, we have 33 nations represented today. Our first marathon was 2022. We had 800 runners from 4 countries. Last year, we had 2,200 runners from 17 countries. This year, we have 3,600 runners from 33 countries. Next year, we hope to have 7,000 runners from 50 countries. That's our commitment to Kasese.
You're most welcome. This is the 80s studio, and with me I have Mark Triamreba, who is the head of security, legal, and public affairs at ATC. These are facets, but I would like